Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the program. You know, Hornville High School is a very, very good football team. They have pretty much dominated everybody they played. But on the 4A level, they take on Lutcher early in the year, and Lutcher comes up and beats them. So when you look at classification, I'm not so sure that Lutcher should be pigeonholed into a 4A team and can't play anybody else in the state that's on the 5A level, because they certainly can. Obviously one of the best teams in the state of Louisiana. Last year won a state championship in AAA. Now they move up to 4A. They are, you know, a team that has a quarterback in Gavin Webster, who is as good an athlete as there probably is in the state of Louisiana. And they come into Houma, and they happen to play in District 8 4A with our local teams to take on Vanderbilt, who's doing exceptionally well. It's a situation where Vanderbilt, who can move the ball against some of these better teams, can get something going early. Maybe they have a shot at this team. We're going to go out and find out that Lutcher's as good as advertised. They are up at this point in the third quarter, 35-0. Gavin Webster on the handoff to Daniel Taylor. He gets good yardage. Here's Webster rolling out, and he runs the ball inside the 10-yard line. Good athlete, big, strong young man. Saw him play baseball this summer. He's a terrific baseball player also. There you see him again. This year, early in the year, he ran for over 300 yards in one game. Here he pitches out to Taylor as he takes it in for the touchdown. The extra point was no good, but at this point in the game, Lutcher was up 41-0, and they just keep it going. Look at the athletic ability of some of these guys. That was a pass down to Jarvis Landry, and Jarvis Landry shakes off some tackles. He runs down the sideline to about the 10-yard line. On the next play, Vanderbilt does a great job of stopping Taylor at the goal line, but Gavin Webster takes it in on the quarterback keeper. The PAT is missed. You'll find out in a little while. Here he is going into the end zone. They missed the PAT. I guess if there is one downfall for Lutcher, maybe it's the special teams, the extra point and field goal unit, as you see them miss right here. But they had no problems in the game against Vanderbilt Catholic. Final score was, we got it up there, Jason, 54-7. Vanderbilt scores late. Nothing for Vanderbilt to hold their head down about, because Lutcher has been doing that to just about everybody. They are in a class by themselves right now, playing extremely well. If there's any consolation, Vanderbilt does get a power point from St. Charles Catholic. St. Charles Catholic routs Thomas Jefferson 47-0. So that is the first loss in district for Vanderbilt Catholic. And Lutcher just keeps on rolling. They really have it going, and they're playing extremely well. And it was a test for Vanderbilt tonight, but unfortunately just a hurdle that they could not get over. There are a lot of people that called in a little bit early and wanted to know about the kick. Bobby Hebert and Martin Falls had a big bet on a kick that happened earlier at the Vanderbilt pep rally. And Jason's telling me in my earpiece, don't give it away. I assume this is footage from that earlier today, Jason? And Jason's telling me yes. We're going to see the kick, Jason? Nope. Well, why are you teasing everybody? There's Martin. Man, he looks like Raphael Septien right there. Well, hey, looks like it could possibly be good. How far was that from? 25? Huh? It's going to be interesting. You got to watch Saints on the Bayou to see that. There was a big bet, lots of money put down on that thing. So got to see Saints on the Bayou to see how that all works out. Next game, we're going back to District 8 5A. South Terrebonne High School had a great game against Terrebonne last week, where they put a new wrinkle in their offense and actually got in the shotgun and spread it out a little bit. They are on a high. HL Bourgeois struggling, but actually moving the ball well against some teams, just not getting the ball into the end zone. They go down to South Terrebonne Memorial Stadium today, and they play in the slop as rain came in at about 4:30, rained for about an hour. I'm going to talk a little bit about that a little bit later, that check you see, and some famous alumni from South Terrebonne coming back and getting rewarded, and Carl LeBlanc. I'll talk about all of that after we look at the highlights, but here we go. Tyler Duraron from HL Bourgeois hands it off to Carl Brown. He gets stopped up the middle, and he gets stopped again. As you see, I'm sorry, that's the Quincy Dunmiles on the run right there, but here's where early in the game HL Bourgeois kind of shot themselves in the foot. A bad snap, and South Terrebonne's first drive, all right here. Quentin Lered on a nice pass to Mitchell Hutchison. Nice run after catch. He picks up about 12 yards. And here is Quentin Lered on a nice pass over the middle to John Brown as they get it deep in HL Bourgeois territory. Coming around the right side is Jaquez Flores, but Damian Jacobs on the stop. I got to talk about that young man after we look at these highlights too. He had a sensational game. Here's Jaquez Flores again on the same play, tiptoes down the sideline, but he is out at about the 5-yard line, so he's not in the end zone, but it doesn't take long. Coming in to get the honors is Tyler Nakan, who usually plays defensive back, but he comes in and he gets the honors as he puts it in for the Gators. So they are up early as Justin Petrie hits the extra point, 7-0 South Terrebonne. This was a very good game, folks. H.L. Bourgeois comes back on a big drive. Carl Brown doing most of the workload. He has 149 yards in this game. They score. Then South Terrebonne comes back and scores to make it 14-7. Then with about 6 minutes left in the game, H.L. Bourgeois scores on a quarterback sneak. And when they try the extra point, unfortunately, it is bobbled by the holder. They do not get the extra point. South Terrebonne wins 14-13. That is a huge win for South Terrebonne, but they looked very sluggish in the game. H.L. Bourgeois actually rushing the ball looked extremely good. They looked like they had a sense of urgency coming out in the middle of the second quarter and did a great job of moving the ball, but congrats to South Terrebonne. They got it done. They remain in second place with only one loss in the district. Curtis blasted Douglas last night, 52-6, so there's no power points for South Lafourche or South Terrebonne as they both defeated Douglas earlier in the year. Damian Jacobs, I got to tell you, I saw him play against Central Lafourche early in the year, and he was okay. Now, this is a kid who is committed to play at Florida State. He was dominant tonight. As good of a game on defense that I have seen from any local high school player in a long time. He was chasing from the backside. He was busting up the middle of the line. He looked extremely good. Very, very impressive showing by him. That check you saw, Friends of South Terrebonne had a big alumni day in the summer. Alumni day, it actually was for a weekend. Kyle Lyons kind of heads that thing up with Norby Jabert. They presented a check to South Terrebonne High School, and you saw them doing that in between the first and second quarter. And then Kurt LeBlanc, a young man that you saw in the wheelchair, he is a young man, and we mention this often, that had a brain clot basically last year, and he's in a wheelchair and he's getting better and better. He is up for the Rudy Award, which is a national award for an inspirational young man. He certainly is an inspiration, as his doctors are saying that he is such a motivational type guy for everybody that's around him. You can go to highschoolrudyawards.com and vote for Kurt for this award. It would be a wonderful thing. Again, and that is on a national level, so congratulations to him. And finally, 11 athletes from South Terrebonne were inducted into their Hall of Fame, all from the years 1970 to 74. Real quickly, Ricky Britt, Kenneth Sanak, Colonel Lynn Champagne, Ronald Johnson, Melvin Johnson, Bip Joseph, Robert Lagarde, Curtis Pellegrin, Steve Trosclair, George Washington, Leroy Simmons. Boy, that is a group of athletes there. If they got on the football field, they could take you. If they got on the baseball field, they could take you. That's a great group of athletes over at South Terrebonne. Congratulations to all of them. And Mike Adams, Coach Mike Adams, who led the Gators to the 1973 State Track and Field Championship. He was inducted also. So congratulations to those guys and to South Terrebonne. A great effort by H.L. Bourgeois. Terrebonne has H.L. Bourgeois in that big rival game next week. That's shaping up to be an interesting matchup. When we come back, we're going to look at Terrebonne. Terrebonne took on New Iberia tonight in a game that they really needed as far as PowerPoints go. We'll see how that turned out after this break.